Hello, welcome back, EG.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now we get to talk about your business, your next chapter. And after that wonderful journey of you introducing yourself, now introduce your business. What is your business? How long you been in business? What are the business vertical? Where is it located? Not what is it? What are your business vertical? Where is it located? Boom, boom, boom. I've got more questions, but let's start with introducing your baby.
All right. So it's called Mixi Audiobooks Limited, registered in Nigeria. So it started off as a offline business, right? So we had studios. We had a studio where we could get, authors or narrators to come in and, record the work, and then we produce it and all of that. But then it moved online. So we work virtually now. So I just have like a community of, would I call them key partners? You know how they are on the Canva? Yeah, my key partners. So the narrators, the editors, right? And so right now also I'm focusing more on training more people so that we are more talking about this, because Africa is large, right? Yes. So it's not something that I can single-handedly do. So the dream is big. I need people. And so that's why I am training now to also sell the idea or to pitch the idea to people to buy into it, to join in this force, because the goal for me is, this goal has morphed over the years. At first we just wanted to help African authors reach more audience, because they're, like you said earlier, we have different styles of learning. Absolutely. The auditory learner, and then the visually impaired are those people that we care about. Plus, now we've noticed like technology has actually shrunk time. People's attention span are short.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Super busy. So they really want to read, but the time is not even available to sit and read, because almost every time people are on the move. But we cannot just then leave reading out totally. We're not saying we want to replace the normal way of reading with audio. We're just saying this is an alternative to reading, and this is also a way to still, benefit from getting knowledge rather than waiting for when you have the time to pick up a book to read. So while you're on the go, while you're working out, while you're cooking, while you're driving, while you are, just doing something else, you can, keep. If you do it for music, do you realize that you listen to?
Just gonna say that.
Do you realize you listen to it? You don't actively listen to it to learn the lyrics, but the lyrics stick. It just gets into your subconscious.
Absolutely.
So why wouldn't we just do that for books as well? Because you know that it's actually getting into your subconscious, but this is information that you need. This is vital information that you need from a particular book, from a particular story, whatever it is, whether it is fiction, help book, business book, whatever it is. Like you can really soak in more. Like there's even, I believe I've read before, like when you want to even learn a language, if you play it while you sleep, it actually enters your subconscious. So it registers there. So that's the power of audio. And that's now the message I'm trying to pass across, that there is power in audio. I just also recently read a research that talks about, if I want to get or decode or deduce your real emotions, I'm better off just listening. Close my eyes and listen to what you're saying. And I'm able to hear from your voice, your emotions. Absolutely. Compared to if I'm looking at you, because you can be smiling and you are dying on the inside.
It's called active listening.
So but listen, it helps you see better. It helps you deduce better. So that's the message I'm now trying to learn, because now the goal has now shifted to, I want to help African authors leave a digital footprint in the audiobook space, because there's audiobook everywhere, but in Africa it's not that much. And we really don't even want, we don't want it done by robots or by other people, basically. We don't want it done by any other person than Africans, at least for now. I know there's also this thing coming, like, okay, AI is coming and all of that. But before AI gets to Africa, let us tell our stories so that even the AI can study what we've said
and advance it.
And advance it, exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So
Absolutely.
So that's the narration that's the narrative that I'm like trying to push now. And so one way that I know I can do that is by letting more people know what I do, teaching more people to do what I do. And that way we have more of us looking out for Africa. Yes.
Interesting, because I just had to laugh when you said, before AI, can we tell our story? Like, we need a break. Don't take us on a fast pace when we're just trying to step into the ladder. Before you know, we become overwhelmed and feeling inadequate, feeling not good enough. So please, just one step at a time. Push yourself, push ourselves. Let's go further, but let's be realistic and bite the cake one piece at the time. You know what I mean? But it's quite funny what you said about the African and the audiobook, because I do listen to audiobooks a lot more than I read. And it's funny, just like music, when you said music, I'm like, is she reading my mind? Just like music, I feel like I know the author, so I recognize his or her voice. I'm like, oh, that is who, just like how you recognize songs and you're like, I know who that is. That's my favorite artist, or that's my favorite song, and so on and so forth. I feel like the author is actually telling the story to me. So when I hear it, I'm like, oh, that's XYZ speaking. Like, my favorite author is Gary Zukav. Gary Zukav is my favorite author. You just have to play one line, and I'm like, of course that's him. And I love that, because it gets me closer to the author. I'm like, oh, that's how he pronounced. Because sometimes you read something and you mispronounce things, and like, that's how he pronounces it. That's it.
And that's the power for authors. Like, in Africa, we're not even there yet.
Yes.
Like, we're not even, I mean, let me not generalize, but
let's not generalize, because we will get,
but generally, not generalize, but still generally, but generally it's like, we've not even 100% embraced the audio space enough for the authors themselves to say, you know what, I want to put my voice on my work, right?
Absolutely.
So we're still at that point, like, it's you need to get to more audience. Let's do this. Okay, you don't want to do it. You're not comfortable with your voice. That's okay. We can do it for you. But like right now, I'm like, see, your voice, your talent. Even if you pronounce a word, you are Africans. Like, why are we trying to
be perfect? Yeah. No, let's not
this
go
is
there.
How we say it. This is how we say it. This is how you say it as an author. It's okay. We get used to it. We get used to the way you speak. I mean, there are presidents around the world, the way they speak, and you're like, oh my God.
But I mean, that's another.
What it is. It is what it is.
That's another conversation, because
we have our languages, we have our dialects, we have our accents. How do we even capture those now and keep them in the clouds for the next generation? Because everybody was speaking English now. And it's good, yes. But what happens to our local dialect if we don't find a way to capture them now? 10 years from now, when everything is paperless, everything is digital, okay, where would our languages be?
And different, I mean, equally from where I'm from, different dialogue, the way they express things symbolizes certain call to action, symbolizes certain call for help. So even dialogues are very important. But it's funny what you said about the language, the English. Let's be very honest. English is our second language. So let's not pretend. Let's not pretend
like it's
that's
our
first or our mother tongue. So let's be clear. If you're bilingual, you're bilingual. And this whole notion that if you do speak a perfect English, then you're perfect. No, it's not the case. You are perfect with all your imperfection. Let's just be clear about that. And I'm not going to dive into that one, because that's another subject, because I would sound very radical. I really do. I'm passionate about that, I mean, I get that a lot when people say, oh, but you don't sound, and I'm like, how am I supposed to sound? You don't sound Somalian. I'm like, how am I supposed to sound? It's weird. Anyway, but what I also wanted to say is what you said, which I, again, really loved, is the fact that you want to be able to get other people involved and create a community that want to do this for Africa. And not just that, but I want to do this specific audio and capturing the essence of this storytelling for the whole of Africa, and that you don't feel or fear threatened by competition, because that's when you're on purpose. That's when you're on purpose. Because when you're on purpose and you're on passion, you don't worry about what the next man or woman is doing. You know that the more the merrier, because the more the merrier, because there's more to be done. And for you to be of service, please join me, because I'm not able to.
Be a part of it. Like, just let's do it for us, not for me.
I'm not able to ask, and for mankind, for human, and also to allow individuals who we may not know to tell their story and touch their storytelling with others to do the same, and I love that, because a lot of people think, well, this is my baby and I do it, nobody does it better than me, which is great, and it's true, nobody can do better than you because you're unique, but so is the other person.
I think that's the way to look at it. Like, that's the way I look at it. Like, even if I train 1 million people today, yes, we might all be doing the same thing, but we are never going to do it the same way. No way.
It's only you.
We can sound alike, but we would never sound the same. So, I mean, that's the beauty of life. That's the spice of it, the variety, the beauty in our differences, right? So,
yeah, good. No, I'm glad. And also, I mean, we know that Africa is what, according to it's 50. Yeah, it's the next frontier. But also, Africa, it consists of 54 on the record, but I think, but now it's 55, because there are certain countries that are like gone separate. I think in the United Nations, I think it's 55 now, but 44. But don't quote me. You can Google it. Even Google can be wrong. But I know Africa is not a country. Right? Africa's not. Yeah, please. Yeah. Come on, like Google. I mean,
you can tailor something on Google, please.
Yeah, it's like, if I cannot find it on Google, it doesn't exist. Like, give me a break. Anyway, but Africa's not a country. Africa's not a country. It's Africa is a continent. So yeah. So when you say there's more of us that can do this and that can be of service and be part of this movement, is amazing. Now, the interesting part. What was it like to get to where you are now? What were the challenges, the learning? What are you still learning? What would you have said to yourself? What would you say to yourself now that you wish you heard somebody to say to you at the beginning of your journey? And get as detailed as you can, because I'm waiting for this, because I'm also excited to learn your journey.
Number one, do not run on passion alone. Absolutely. Passion is good, it's great, it's the foundation of it, because it's what keeps you going. It's like the fuel for the journey. Or you can just get a gallon of fuel and then move. No, you need an engine, right? And this could be a small engine, a big engine, it could be a V8, a V6, it could be a bike. But you still need the fuel to take you to take you on the journey. So your passion is your fuel, but the engine is your business acumen. Oh my God. That's like, I wish I knew.
Sorry, I have to interject, because you think, because you see what you see and you're passionate about it, you just think everything else falls into place. Why not? I am actually providing a good solution here, a good service here. What is wrong? I don't know why I'm speaking like that, but yeah, it's, anyway, sorry. Because I had that moment.
Anyway. So yeah, please, 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 as soon as you catch the vision, as soon as you ignite the passion, please wait. There's such a thing called delayed gratification, and it's not just about your personal pleasure. I think it applies to every aspect of life. Like, okay, the dream is clear, the vision is clear, but delaying the gratification is, do I really need to act on this now?
Yeah.
Do I really need to put it out now, or do I have work to do before putting it out? So that is one lesson out, because how I need an analogy to explain this is having a child is a blessing from God anytime, any day, regardless of how the child was conceived.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
For your type of things. If you at the age of 15, because now you're a girl, you now see your period and you are liable to get pregnant, and you're a boy of 16, and yes, you're now, your dreams are coming through, right? And then you have it. That act itself, the baby being conceived and being given birth to, is it's a blessing on its own.
On its own, yeah.
But your timing is wrong, and it's going to affect your life. No, there's no two ways about it. It's going to affect, it's going to halt your life, it's going to alter your life. Of course, thank God, because God is a God of mercy, right? He's so merciful, and his plans will never be thwarted, no matter what happens. So it's like the way we can relate with it is Google Maps, right? If you take the wrong turn, it might take you longer. Oh, that's crazy in Dubai. Like if you take a wrong turn in Dubai, you might be 2 minutes away from your destination, and you take the wrong turn, and it's going to add 30 minutes to your journey.
Absolutely.
And that's painful, right? So why?
But you've got that reset, or is it recenter?
It's rerouting. It reroutes you, right? So that's that. I hope you catch that or caught that analogy. It's the same thing. If I had taken time, delayed my gratification, I didn't know better anyways, but I'm knowing better now, right? If I had delayed it and just taken out time to study, okay, I want this thing to work. I have an idea of what it looks like. What is the business part? What's the commercial part of it? What are the structures that I need? And so I ran for years. And then I just started figuring out, oh, I needed this. Oh, I needed that. So it's like you building a house without a solid foundation. You can't patch it. It's unpatchable. You've got to bring down the house and start from scratch again. And that is super painful. But it does not discount the experience you had in building the first one. Because now, even when you crash it down and say, you know what, okay, this is done, I want to start all over again, there are parts of it that you already know. That will be quick. It wouldn't take you the same time to take you if it's in new territory, right? So that's where I'm at now. So I ran on passion. I had no clue about business. Now I'm learning those things about business, and I'm like, okay, it's time. I need to reset. But of course, I've learned a lot. And this is another reason that your journey is unique. Yes, beat yourself up once in a while, because sometimes we do need to beat ourselves up. Of course,
you need the reality check.
We don't need to we need to kick ourselves in the butt and say, how can you be so, But then pick yourself up and say, okay, I've made a mistake. What's the way? What's the reroute? How do we reroute? How do we fix this? Even if it's going to take longer, but it's still fixable. So, I mean, it's still fixable. So that's one thing that I have learned. That's one thing that I faced that I'm learning, and I'm still learning, because I'm not getting it when it comes to the structure thing. And like I had a discussion with you earlier. I think also is, okay, so I was in a train. AQ, this girl here, like I'm constantly in training. I'm constantly learning. And so I think it also kind of, make me feel disappointed in myself sometimes. Like, you are learning so much. Why are you not seeing the results so much? Right? But the thing is, when it depends on what needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
If there is a mindset cage or limitation, that's the hardest.
Absolutely.
That's the hardest to fix. And so you need to be super patient with yourself, but brutally honest with yourself
as well.
So brutally honest to say, I've not gotten it yet. So keep learning. Regardless, it looks like, what's wrong with you? You're everywhere, always learning, in this class, in this seminar, in this. You know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You know the mindset that you need to fix.
Yeah.
You know where your gauge is right now, and you know how far you still need to go to overhaul whatever mindset that is holding you down. So don't stop working on you. It is still part of that, delayed gratification to say, okay, it's okay if my friends, my colleagues are seeing it in business right now, but it feels like I'm still here. Girl, do the work now. Fix the mind, fix the whatever it is that is missing, so that when you start to move, you just keep going.
So I was going to say, girl or boy. So that's the saying, we measure ourselves or we compare ourselves amongst ourselves. So that can cheat you a lot of things when you say, wow, well, EG is doing this, I think I can do that, which is great, because you become a point of reference.
Inspiration, yes.
Absolutely, inspiration. It can be envy, not negatively, but if you can go, my God, if she's done it, I'd inspire each other positively, but don't inspire each other so much that I want to mimic you. Then I'm moving away from the center. I'm moving away from the center on the essence of who I am. But it's just when you were talking again, it triggered me, because you were talking about how if I'd known, I would have done it better. And when you crash, you come, because you know what passion does to you when you're passionate about something, you're stubborn, you are stubborn. You're very stubborn, because you're like, yeah, you do it. Not that you think you're better than everybody else. You think you know what you know, because you are passionate about it. But you know what it does? When you crash, it brings you back up. And you're so passionate that you can only learn through crashing. Because you think anybody could come and call me and tell me, AQ, do this? I'm not the most, no. I got this. And really and truly, right about now, I can deal with that advice, But I learned through the hard way. I want to see it, feel the pain, so I know not to go back. Because I feel like what you're trying to protect me from, I know it might not be good, but what you're trying to protect me from could be something that I'm thinking is good for me. Let me go there. Let me knock on that door. Let me knock on that window. Let me fail or succeed. But I don't want to stop with your advice. But you know what, sometimes, if somebody has seen you know what they say, right? But our parents used to say, somebody is born a day before you. If nothing at all, they've seen the daylight before you. They've seen the sun. If you're born at night and they said, hey, good morning, you're like, what's morning? It's night. They're like, no, tomorrow you'll see the morning. At least listen to it. So that's what I was able to pick up on that. Now I have a question. Have you had a mentor, a coach,
I was coming there.
Okay. You see, we're on the same page. We're on the same page. Yeah, because
I was coming there. That was that's the other thing I was going to say. Like, yes, there is. For a long time, I had I was. What's that word now? Like, I was resisting it.
Yeah, you know everything. What are you talking about? This is my baby.
It's not, I know I don't know everything, right? But I can learn.
But you know everything about this. This is your baby. That's what I mean. Yeah.
It was more like I just think by the concept of mentorship, or God is my mentor, coach. Jesus is my mentor. I'm like, right, yeah. I'm sure God will be looking at me like, oh yeah, girl, well done. No. I mean, of course, no doubt, no clue, no doubt at all. You can literally sit on the word and just, use, God, Jesus for me as a guide to how to, his story is so good. You can get, insight on how to do business, how to run, how to create models, basically. But still, it's like you said, it's still a thing of, you need to learn that process.
Absolutely.
So you need to learn how to learn. First, you need to understand how you learn.
Or unlearn.
You need to learn how you learn.
And unlearn. Yeah. Sorry to say that. Because there are certain things that we know to be we've learned. Sometimes you have to unlearn them.
Unlearn them, yes.
And one of them is the fact that you can speak to a mentor, you can speak to a coach, you can speak to a friend who's been an expert. Sorry to cut you, but I wanted to say that.
Absolutely, yes.
So learning and unlearning are the same,
Are the same, absolutely. yeah. So I mean, I think if you realize how you learn, it's easy for you to know how to unlearn.
Exactly.
Because it's less like a flip, changing your mindset. Like, okay,
absolutely.
I was close to this before, now I'm open, right? So what is in this for me, right? So never estimate the power of a coach, of a mentor. Like you said, yes, open your ears to hear what they say. You don't have to do everything they ask you to do the way they want you to do it, but still open your ears to hear what they say. But more is open your eyes to see what they do, and then adapt, not replicate, not all the time replicate. There are circumstances that you need to replicate for you to even get it, because it's like in your doing that you get to understand it. But even in your doing, because you've seen how they're doing it, in your doing, you still have to impute your own style.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know what comes into mind? You know what comes into mind when you said that? It's don't reinvent the wheel. Trust me, whatever you think, I think that we're doing has never been done before. It has been done.
It's just been done
in a different time with different resources, and technology has helped us to take it further. Everything we're doing has been done before. There are certain things that are done differently. There are new things, of course, technology, but it's been done before. If you listen to or do your research, there are new things happening. The world is evolving. We're breaking a lot of barriers for sure. If you look at it in essence, a lot of the things that we're doing is being done, is just done differently and done in advance.
Absolutely.
All right. And whoever wants to challenge me of that, please do challenge me. I stay by my statement. You know, I'm good with that. And the other thing is, like, I was thinking, because my academic background is tourism management and town planning. So like airlines, how many airlines do we have around the world? Each of them, what's their job? To take you from A to B. But each one of them are different. Do you see what I mean? Different. Yeah. So, but what they didn't do is reinvent. They didn't reinvent the wheel of taking you from destination A to B. So they realized, okay, what is it that we need to do? We need to take individuals, like human or goods, from A to B. So that's what I'm hearing when you say don't reinvent the wheel. There are certain things, like if you are going to aviation, I'm not going to say I'm not taking people or goods. You have to realize what's already is the norm within your industry.
Yeah. But one thing I learned, in my journey so far, and learning and just, getting knowledge and all of that, is, entrepreneurship is a journey to knowing yourself. And I picked this up from, the Ladies Entrepreneurship Boot Camp that I recently finished. And yeah, that's just the truth, because at the end of the day, when you know yourself, you know where you're falling short, and you know exactly where you need help. And then you're able to search for the help that you need. Because I also think that, yes, we are able to do all things, but do we really need to do all things? The time is going to take. I can code. I can, if I put my mind to it and learn it. But why would I spend another 4 years to learn how to code when there are many software coders out there that I can pay to do the job for me?
And who are passionate about it. Yeah.
And yes, exactly. So why would I now take all my time to go and learn something I'm not passionate about? So I think that's another thing that I've learned in my own journey, is to understand where I do need help, where I'm struggling, but I know there are people that this is their natural habitat. For example, for me, I'm a creative. I'm just, getting to embrace that totally and say, you know what, when it comes to the admin and the bookkeeping and all of that, I truly need help in that area, because
the business management side.
It's not my forte. I can do it if I go learn it, but it's going to take more time. But I mean, call me middle of the night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and say, Ejiro, please, I need you to do this video for us. This is what, I kid you not, I will quick get up, do my makeup and shoot the video and send it to you immediately, because that is my habitat. Like, I don't even think. I just need what do you want the message to be? And I get it done like pam. That's my habitat. So why would I struggle to then So it's just getting to that point for me and saying, Ejiro, you can't do everything. Just find a way to see the people that you need and bring them on board. But of course, that is also another journey on its own. Absolutely. Because you now learning to relate with people, to understand. I remember the session I had with you, just saying your values have to align. So knowing that before then, looking out for partnerships, just know that, okay, these are my values. These are the things I'm looking for. So I think these are the things these are the dynamic things when it comes to entrepreneurship. Yeah. Of course, some of us get it faster than the others, and Absolutely. It's okay. Just get to know yourself first. Get to know what you know about what you know. Yeah. So that you know what you don't know. Yeah. And see how you can get that help from others.
But also there are two things here. One, you've got to get your hands dirty in everything. Because for you to know what you're not good at, you must have tried it. So do not just say, because I don't know it, I don't want to do it. Because when you get the person, there's going to be a conflict. Because you don't know what the person is doing or what. So
how would you monitor?
So it's like, I am paying you to do the books, and then you expect them to do it in an hour, in a week, in a month. But these people this individual in your case is doing your tax return, is doing your contract, and that doesn't take an hour a day, or you know what I mean? So you've got to know every aspect of your business. That's number one, and realize, oh no, this is taking me. I don't have the energy for it. I don't have the passion, but actually I don't have the skill set, and it's taking me 3 hours where this takes me 20 minutes, and I see the return, and I get even more motivation by doing it. So that's number one, because I also had to learn that. I had to learn that. I'm like, okay, now that I know what I'm asking for when I get somebody to help me, paid or unpaid. I'm like, absolutely. Hey, listen, this is as far as I can go. What can you do to elevate? So that's number one. The other thing about value that you brought up, which is the second thing, is important that you know who you are associating with professionally and personally, where their values are. You don't sit somebody and say, tell me your values. It's just important for you to know, especially in business, because you, for example, are somebody of faith. The other person has to have elements of faith or not at all. It's fine. But as long as you're aware of it. So one is you don't need to have the same faith or the same values aligned, but your values have to simmer somehow together in order. If the other person has no faith in any of their values, and they don't value family and value money over faith and family, you really will have a struggle. But it doesn't mean that you can keep the business going. It means you can keep the business going, but just remember, every time you have a conflict, respect each other's value differences. Yeah. And it just means, listen, it's not like you can work everybody in the church. No. You know what I mean? It's not like you can work with everybody in your family. No, but just being aware of what the other person's value is. And when you start praying to God, or when you go to church, don't expect them to come along. That's not their journey. And then you will be looking at them going, you don't want to come to church today. You're like, no. Yeah. You create that conflict. So knowing each other's value is important. Also accepting each other's value differences is equally important. That's all. Those are the two things that I wanted to just bring in from what you said. But yeah, no, amazing. Wow. What a journey. What a journey. What a journey. But you will do it all over again. I don't even need to ask you that. But do it differently?
Yeah, do it differently, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, do it different. Oh, definitely. Lay the foundation, solid foundation. I'm seriously learning. So part of my personality is that I am hyperactive, right? I
would have never guessed that. Yeah. Sorry, I had to do that. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
Good one. So I think, I see it, and I act, right? But now I'm learning to think, see it, think some more before acting, because the other thinking helps you look at all the other aspects of it. Like, okay, this is great. Turn it over this way, that way. Okay, I think this is something I really want to do. But what are the other elements? What needs to be done? So I now take time. I'm now learning to take time now to fix it from behind the scenes before it goes out. So that is one thing that all of my experience has taught me up to now. Like it's making me more reflective. By my personality type, I'm sanguine and all of that, we don't really reflect. Like we don't.
Absolutely.
It's not our strength, right? So, but now all my experiences is teaching me that just being reflective alone can save you a lot of hassles, because you just draw back a bit and see things from, with an area view and say, okay, this is what I want to do in the long term. So anything that is worth building, it's just the saying, the general saying, whatever is worth doing is worth doing well. So whatever is worth building is worth building well. So you need to lay the foundation, regardless of how minute the project is, right? So I'm really learning that right now, and I'm being intentional about it. Like I hold myself now, like
amazing.
I'll hold myself to say, I know you're itching to put words out. I know you're itching to just take action, but calm down. Sit on this for a while. Look at it. In your mind, do everything. If you sit on it for a while and it's still there, then there is something there for you. Then just work it, make it work, right? Because otherwise, like if you check my history now, you see that I've done a lot of things. A lot. I've been a fashion designer before. I've made shoes, I've made bags, I've made hair. I've done a lot of things. I've sold Zobo, I've sold drinks. I mean, some of them were just means of getting by. But still, there are things that I've just done, even in this space of when I know, okay, I am called to being a media person or being in the media space or something. But there are a lot of projects that I've just started out of intuition, right? Just boom, it comes, boom, and I act on it. And then it's not sustainable. So these are things that I'm personally learning now. That, okay, if you want to do it for the long term, you really need to plan it properly. Planning is not one of my strengths, but it's something that I know that I need, and it's something that I'm working on. So all of these things, that's one reason I'm grateful for my journey so far. Because it might look like, oh, wasted years, you didn't get it right. I've seen other people, I've seen businesses literally, they just, start a year, the second year they're getting grants because they did the working, they did the background work, they did their feasibility studies, they did all of those things, they did their plannings and all of that, but I didn't do any of that. So that's how come my result. So basically the lesson here is, depending on the result that you're seeing, look for the corresponding work that you need to put to get it. Otherwise, you won't get it. And if you don't get it, there's nobody to blame than you. So I'm not casting the blame on anybody. This is my blame, but at the same time, it's my journey. So I am working it. It might take longer than I expected, but it's okay.
Yeah. Now, what I'm hearing, I can't help but what I'm hearing is the reflection being very important for sure, because you've got to be able to pause. But I'm also hearing that it's okay to know your limitations, because a lot of us just want to show our best self and the best light. And when we have moments of, I didn't do this so wrong, we literally go, woof, hide, you know what I mean? And not show it. And you know what? It's by sharing those moments, oh my God, I messed this up, or I made this decision that really, as a consequence, set me back. It takes the power away and the pain away. It no longer becomes shame. Remember what you were talking about, shame? You're like, oh my God, so you did that? You're like, yeah, I did. That was messed up, right? Yeah. And that's it. But you know not to repeat it. But if you keep it inside and you hold it, you repeat it, because now that you said it out loud, it's like, okay, it's not as heavy. But if you keep it inside, the next time you're like, yeah, I ate that chocolate again, But yeah, no, thank you so much. That was a great journey. I'm now excited to hear about what's next. How can people connect with you? What we should look forward to, and what services should people come to you for? So we'll go to that shortly, but let's take a quick break.